Yo, SWAT talk, light on the mic, it's a play. See Wells the guy taking us state to state. Catch us Wednesday, Sunday, stats on the buffet. From Grand Iron to the court, we got the say. Football spirals, hoop dreams in the chat. Chopping it up, deep dives on every stat. Texas to Florida, repping border to border. Arkansas to Bama, the vibe getting warmer. SWAT talk, keep the knowledge on deck. See well spinning, wisdom gotta show respect. Facts flying higher than a wide receiver's check. From football to hoops, what y'all expect? Guests roll through, dropping stories untold. Legends from the SWAT spitting straight gold. Locker room vibe, secrets unfold. CW heavy like a championship hold. The South's got a rhythm, a culture to match. Each stat, each fact, another door latch. SWAT talk connects like a perfect pass catch. From Alabama skies to Florida's grass patch. SWAT talk, keep the energy alive. Wednesday to...
All right, everybody, what is going on, man? We are back at y'all again. We was here yesterday, we here today. Man, we got a special guest in the house, as y'all can see. And I know y'all know this, man. He really don't even need no introduction. He got a lot of y'all riled up these last couple of weeks online, but this is Mr. Lionel Mosby Jr. from PV versus Everybody. Man, how are you doing today, brother?
Can you hear me? There you go, man.
Yeah, you good.
Good, man. I'm excited. Listen, I'm excited. I just been listening to this album over and over and over and over again. You know what I'm saying? That's what I've been doing. Just listening to this album over and over and over and over again. But overall, man, I'm good, man. I'm blessed. So how are you?
Oh man, I'm doing good, man. I can't complain. I've been checking out the track list y'all been dropping, man. I've been liking some of the things going on over there. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of this stuff in action as things go on. But I'm gonna just jump right into it, man, because I know you gotta kind of dip in and out. But I'm gonna jump directly into it. First off, what was your overall reaction when y'all brought in Coach Jackson?
Honestly, man, my reaction was excitement because, and I know that this probably, but we had a conversation. I guess let me preface this by saying, right, for me, I appreciate everybody that's ever touched ground at PV, right? You know what I'm saying? All the coaching staffs, everybody who ever has coached here, I think it all means something. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, when I looked at the previous staff, I looked at it like it's championship or bust, right? For me, you know what I mean? In my mindset, right? So once we got to the point where I started seeing that wasn't in the cards anymore, I'm already like looking around, looking out to try to see, man, who is that one, right, that can come and take us to that next level, right? So it's been a minute since really T-Jack has been on my radar, right? You know what I'm saying? When I looked out and looked and saw, like, man, what are we looking for? What's the goals? What's the thought process? Who can get that done? And I remember having a conversation with a couple of alum offline, and telling them, like, man, listen, when you think about successful just HBCU Graham coaches, bro, the D2 coaches, that's a successful route. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we talking about, we're not just talking about, you know what I'm saying? We think about Pete Richardson, right? You don't realize, man, Pete Richardson came through that D2 pipeline, right? So we think about a lot of big successful coaches who've been through MEAC, SWAC, right? I mean, like some of the top guys that you think about, they coach D2 first, right? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, that's a successful route to go through because these guys had to use a small amount of resources, right? You know what I'm saying? Still make it work, wear multiple hats that everybody always talk about you got to wear, right? At these HBCUs, right? They already done that, right? And then if they don't want right? So he's been on my radar since then because that was a matrix that I was looking at. I looked at that matrix and said, that's what makes sense for us, right? Now, listen, and then when I started looking at some of his old interviews, man, how he talked right now, I ain't know we was gonna get all of this. I can't lie about that. All of this. Now I love it though. You know what I'm saying? But I knew we was gonna get somebody who's charismatic in general, who was good with the media and stuff like that. Now I think this storm is just for the fact that, man, he was at Colorado Mesa and at Valdosta. Now he's at an HBCU, right? Now he like with his people, and he really can just be completely himself. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So, so I was excited, man. And in the room, bro, when he for his press conference, it was packed. So you knew excitement was in the room. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, I was super excited, and I was just waiting on it because I'm like, it don't make no sense for it to be nobody else but this, right? And then of course, I kind of knew, a little bit before it was dropped, right? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh, I'm good, I'm Gucci. You know what I'm saying? So.
Oh yeah. And I love Coach Jackson. He my second favorite head coach right now in the league because he been on our show. And so, he come with energy, man. I love his energy. I love the way he just, he say what he feel. He don't do a lot of coach speak. And he a winner, and so I love what he doing. When the Southern Job came up, I started trying to put his name out there. You know what I'm saying? But I think he's just a guy that what you see is what you get. He gonna tell you how it is, and he not gonna he wants you to come with smoke because he's not afraid of it. And that's that's what you need. I know PV thing now is to be a premier FCS team, right? So hey, I think y'all got the man for the job, honestly.
Hey, listen, that comment is hilarious. I can't lie. That's not Coach Jackson trying to Jay Prince some people. You know what I'm saying? So,
hey, you got to check in, man. You gotta check in when you coming into town. Hey, I like it, man. You gotta put locks on everything, man. You can't let people come through. So knowing that he was the guy that a lot of people wanted. He's the guy that Houston guy. How has his hire kind of elevated the fan base?
Man, I think it's been a great, right? I think it's been, and this is kind of a very, very broad, very generalized way to kind of to talk about it, right? But I think it's like been a bomb in a room, right? You know what I'm saying? Because you had those set of individuals and people that's kind of like me, right? Like we already have the mindset and of the belief that we got everything we need in order to be a top LCS program for real, right? You know what I'm saying? Like a real big SWAC program, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, we just needed the right guy in the room, right, in order to take us to the next level and get us over the hump, right? So you got that set of group of people, right, that's already there. And then I think you got that group of people who I kind of look at it almost like, how, back in the day, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes, not even back in the day, even now, right? You got some Black people that always feeling like, you know what I'm saying, like we can't achieve a certain level of cachet, right? You know what I'm saying? And so I think you also got that type of mindset and folk that's in the room too, right? And so this is, especially when you start talking that talk, you know what I'm saying, or that like, hey, listen, we gonna go I-20 because that's the quicker way to Atlanta. When you start talking that type talk, right? That kind of rubs some people like man, I don't like how you talk, man. You ain't even won no games yet. You ain't even like, listen, I don't know I'm 40-12. I don't know what you're talking about, right? You know what I'm saying? But me, I'm 40-12. Okay. I just came from the national championship game. Okay. Y'all might feel that way. I'm gonna talk what I'm gonna say, right? So I think you definitely got that kind of, you know what I'm saying, one side over here mindset. But for me, I love it. I think it's great, right? I think that's the kind of shakeup that you need, you know what I'm saying, in order to like wake some of your own people up, right? You know what I'm saying? So I think that's really the reality of things, man. And so I think the fan base is excited. Also, I think the community is excited. Because listen, he does what he say he gonna do. When he say he's gonna get into community, they ain't playing. Them they got them boys in the community, right? In the schools, in the elementary schools, in the high schools, right? Like they are in the community. And so it's also exciting the community, which is something that we also been talking about. Like, if you really want to build a successful fan base, right? You gotta have you don't just need alumni support and student support. There's a third element, and it's the community support, right? Like I'm from, and I end it here, right? I'm from Monroe, Louisiana. Me and my dad went to so many Grambling games. All right, this is the reality. You see what I'm saying? My dad wasn't a graduate of Grambling though. He just supported Grambling, right? So from when I was a youngster growing up, we always support Graham. You know what I mean? Like that's just what we did. So that same mindset I feel like needs to be taken, and it's the same really for a lot of SWAC schools. I think TSU need to do that model. PV need to build that model, and some of the other schools, right? That's kind of like they got that generalized base, right, of alum and students. But man, if they can make themselves like a community team too, it's just gonna blow it up because people ain't really experienced what we experience right at our games. You know what I'm saying? So we get some community folks to experience that, it's gonna turn it up to another level, man. So.
Oh yeah, most definitely. Because the community is what puts you over the top. You're gonna have you're gonna have your alums, you're gonna have your students come through, but the people that make it a place to be is the people that's not affiliated with you. When you can get those people to come out and support the product, they're gonna tell other people, and it's gonna build on that. So I could definitely feel you on that. I do got one question about about Coach coming in. He got his guidelines and things, that he want guys to abide by. Has it been a tough transition for the guys who already were there? Do guys that were already there feel like, it was a little bit hard to adjust to some of that stuff that he wants?
So no, right? I mean, so obviously maybe a guy here, a guy there, obviously, right? People are people, right? You know what I'm saying? So everybody somewhere ain't gonna like something. That's just life, right? You know what I'm saying? But when you talk about the vast majority of the guys, man, they bought in. Coach talks about that. The assistant coaches talked about that. That came on the show. DC Coach Early, assistant head coach. All I'm talking about how, man, they had so much buy-in from the guys who held over from the previous, regime. And that's totally different from what they seen before when they came into places, right? So guys definitely bought in, right? And really said, all right, man, we're gonna meet the challenge, right? We're gonna go through this, this dog training, right? And get it in. So they put in the work, right? But at the same time, right? And I think this is that like friction that you need if you're really gonna try to be what you say you try to be, right? And the reality is, man, it don't mean it. You still got to make hard decisions, though, right? It don't mean listen, Coach Jackson just be dropping quotables. I can't lie, right? Listen, everybody can't play for us. That don't just include people in the portal, right? That also includes some people that's in the building. Not because we don't rock with them, right? But just because you may not fit our scheme, right? What we trying to do, talent-wise, right? It may just not be there. It could be a lot of reasons, right? You could want to play for us, right? But everybody can't play for us. That's just the reality. You know what I'm saying? So the guys meet the challenge, man. Yeah, the guys definitely met the challenge. Does that mean that those guys are still in that room, for example, right? I mean, some of the guys are not in the room anymore, right? But it wasn't because they wasn't willing to be there. You see what I'm saying? Like they were willing to be there, but they really are willing to make the hard decision and say, man, we can't, because I look at it right now as like NBA free agency, right? Especially we got some of these you got the one and dones, right? You use a lot of them guys in trade pieces in a sense, right? So it's kind of like, are you gonna hold on to a guy who got 1 year left and he really not gonna see the field for real, right? You know what I'm saying? Let him rock out somewhere else and actually get on the field, bring in another guy, right? Who maybe got 1 year left and actually gonna be an impact player for you. It just, you know what I'm saying? That's the hard decision that you got to make. But are you trying to build the FCS power, or are you just trying to be another SWAC school? That's really the question, right? You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man. Now that ain't cap. That's the truth. Yeah, that's the truth. I'm telling the truth, right? I'm being honest about it, right? Because everybody that ever touched ground at PV is always PV love, and you always gonna be a PV alum, right? You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. You know what I'm saying? No matter what you play, 1 year, 4 years, don't matter, right? You touch ground at PV guy, I rock with you, right? You represent the university. But when it's time, like for real to get it, it's just like, listen, there are some churches you go to, you can get on the choir as soon as you join the day you go, right? There's some churches you go to, bro, you got to put in work to get on that choir, right? You know what I'm saying? Because
Oh yeah,
it's just
you got to
different.
earn
It's
it.
a different level of excellence. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't that you don't desire to get on the choir. It's like, bro, your pitch just ain't there yet. You know what I'm saying? That's
Oh yeah,
that's the
you got.
mentality that Jack and the coaching staff got right now. So some people who was on the choir ain't on the choir no more, but you still love them. You know what I mean? They still members.
Oh yeah, you never lose it, no matter where you go. But you gotta set it up like that. You can't let the guys run the show. If you're a new coach, you got to establish your culture. And if you got a winning culture, guys need to understand there's difficult decisions. It's tough to win. It's easy to lose. It's tough to win. And you got to make sacrifices to win. And so I appreciate that, man. Like I said, I keep tabs on things that's going on. And, he's been really active in the portal. How do you feel about his approach to getting guys out the portal and, even especially keeping up the Texas talent at home?
You know, at the end of the day, he say we're 21 and up club. And we're 21 and up club. Listen, we're 21 and up club, right? You know what I'm saying? Who am I to tell the man, right? You know what I'm saying? This ain't the route to go. He been doing this. You feel me? So listen, I'm just gonna ride the train. I'm just one of the conductors. He telling me the train going that way. Listen, that's the direction we heading in. You feel me? So I don't have no problem with it, right? It's always gonna be a question every year, right? When teams bring in a lot of transfers, same thing that they'll say for FAMU or whoever else, right? At the end of the day, but it's really college football now. That's just what it is, right? Like you're gonna be bringing in transfers. You're gonna be losing transfers, right? So you just kind of gotta get used to that. And do you have a program that you can still make things mesh together, right, and make things work? So he's going to be heavy in the transfer portal. That's what he said he was going to do, and that's what he's doing. I think right now, so far, I've counted 14 FCS to FCS transfers, right? We have the most FCS to FCS transfers right now based on what I've seen Sam Herder and my boy Zach, right, you know what I'm saying, put out, right? Unless Norfolk them put up, got a couple other guys in, right? Right now, we're number one FCS to FCS. We tie for fourth when it comes to FBS to FCS. Like, that's 27 guys, just FBS and FCS transfer to the program. That's not counting the 5D2 guys, right? We've also brought in, right? So you're talking about 32 transfers, period, right now. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't done yet. Like there's still more people that they're going to be dropping, you know what I'm saying, on the feature list on the album. You know what I mean? So it just is what it is. This the program they got. This the program they built. He's sticking to it. And listen, you don't tell somebody that's won this ain't the right way to win. Like, what kind of sense would that make? You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, you gotta let the man drive his car the way he want to drive it. And you gotta give a coach the leeway now. Until he start going off the road. But if he's proving that he gonna stay on the road, you gotta let him stay on the road.
Hey, listen, I don't know, man. He might know a shortcut. For all I know, listen,
he might. Hey, you don't doubt.
Go. Listen, where does the road end? Does it end in Atlanta? Then listen, if it ends in Atlanta, then I don't care. I don't care where we go. All right, just give me that.
Hey, I agree. However you get there is however you get there. You don't get no extra for getting there faster. You don't get no extra for getting there. On a scenic route, you get the same credit for making it regardless. So exactly. I totally understand that. I do want to touch on a couple. Who are some of the guys who who like returning that you think still can make an impact?
Well, obviously, in the QB room, right? I mean, one, there's like 6 QBs in this room now. I mean, they really didn't add competition in this room. But you got a couple guys who hold over from last year who are still fighting to try to be that guy in that QB room, right? You know what I'm saying? So Lucas Cooley, Cam Peters, right, are both in that room. Those are 2 guys who have multiple years, obviously, behind them, who are fighting, with some other guys that's transferred in to be the main guy. So those guys have an opportunity to really make an impact. I think also on the offensive line, you got a couple pieces, that's coming back, right? Jalen Cooper, I think, is a real guy who has an opportunity. He's a younger guy, but has an opportunity, right, to fight for a starting role again, right, on the offensive line. Also brought in and elevated that room too, right? but I think he has a chance, right, to make a real impact. You got Caden Bowers on that offensive line, right? Caleb Leonard as well on that offensive line. I think all those guys have an opportunity, right, to fight to be a starter and to make impact, you know what I'm saying, on the offensive side of things, offensive side of the ball. Another guy that we got coming back is Jay Harris, who was originally a linebacker transferred in from Kansas State. You know, he's a holdover from last year, and I've been hearing really good things about him and how he's picking up the offense. The defense. Obviously, this defense is very linebacker and safety friendly. You know what I'm saying? So, I think they're excited about what he can add, being already in that room. So that's exciting. Man, one of the guys on the back end, Eric Zachary, was a freshman, true freshman last year. But listen, he was the best cornerback. Okay, I don't care what nobody talking about. He was the best cornerback on the field. Should have got way more snaps than he got, right? You know what I'm saying? He was really that guy. And so I think he also has a fighting chance right now. That room is crazy right now. Like, I ain't gonna lie. They done brought in some real guys in that secondary that's gonna really challenge. But I think he got a shot, man, because he just got an innate ability, right, to play the ball, gets his hands on a lot of balls. Man, if he can turn his catch radius up a little bit more, the guy gonna come down with a lot of interceptions if he gets some game action. So I like Eric Zachary as well. And then also running backs, right? We still got Lamaje McDowell that came back. He got another year.
He back?
Yeah, he got
I
another
know he
year.
was back.
So yeah,
that's big.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then Chase Bingham, who only played 4 games last year to maintain that red shirt, but in every game he played, he flashed something, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, clearly flashed something, and people look like, man, he kind of looked like the best running back on the field. I think he's really gonna get a look. The offensive coordinator recruited him out of high school when he was over at Sam Houston State as the OC. And so, I know he's going to play into the game plan, man, this year too as well. But at the end of the day, man, all of them got to fight to maintain at the end of the day, because I really think they're really trying to elevate every single room, the floor and every single room. But those are some of the guys I could think of off top.
All right. I know you got to slide in a minute. So I'm gonna just ask you one more thing. Then I got a couple of things. I know everybody want to hear from you whenever you come back. Spring game, man, was on a Thursday.
Later.
Huh?
Say it again. Go ahead.
I say the spring game. They had that on a Thursday. What was that? What was the reasoning behind that?
So when Coach Jackson talked about it, he said that he really likes to give his coaches off weekends, right? You know what I'm saying? In the spring, he said he always has them working all weekends during the fall, winter time, right? So he's big on family. And so he tries to give his guys, that family time on the weekend. So that's why he likes to have a spring game on like that Thursday, which it was the Thursday before, that Easter weekend. Everybody was basically off Friday, right, through Monday. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, and also he wanted the students to also be able to be there and come and participate and be a part of spring game activities. So that was his reasoning for it. And I think it turned out well, man. I mean, we had a really good crowd out there. Really energized crowd out there, and I think that's just because of him, man. I think he's really. I think he said he did 27 interviews in 60 days, right? When he first got launched, right? So he really was on a media circuit for real. You know what I'm saying? To really lift the program's name up. And again, right? That's what you want in a head coach, not just a guy who can coach on the field and get wins, but also somebody who can literally elevate the program in the media and the national spotlight. And he's been doing both things, man. So it was a success, man. I think the spring game, I think it worked well because it was also something novel too as well. Some people wasn't used to. And so it was good. Other than that, Houston traffic to try to get out there on time. But that's just Houston.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're gonna have that regardless. So you got to just deal with that. But I think when you got a new coach, you do whatever it takes to get the people excited. If you got to do something on an odd day, you do it on an odd day. You can, like you said, you can build off of that tradition. Like say, it's great to see a coach that care about his coaches. That want to get them time with their family, because some coaches, they want you there 24/7. It's coaches in the league that they want their coaches there all day. So exactly. you got to balance family and sports. So. I thought, from seeing some of the things from the game, I thought they had a good turnout, a good environment. So I'm, like I said, I'm eager to see how things start to take hold as we get closer and closer to the season.
Nah, me too, man. I'm excited about what they got going. And I heard an interview he did recently where he said, "Hey, listen, we gonna have 3 teams. We got the spring team, we got the summer team, we got the team." Okay, so at the end of the day, they always evaluate, man, and they really looking to get the best talent in, the best guys, right? That's gonna be a part of this program. So I'm excited because one, they believe, they locked in, and they got the players believing, they got the fans believing, community believing. So you can go a lot of ways when you got belief. And one thing too, man, because I don't think it was something that you mentioned before, but this coaching staff too is another thing I think people also aren't really paying a lot of attention to. But I've never seen a coaching staff where everybody on the coaching staff has won championships where they're coming from. Like, it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? And some guys, multiple. Like, one of the coach, man, 10 champions. How long you even been coaching? You ain't even that old, okay? You already got 10 champions. That's crazy, right? So really talking about championship acumen, Rand, he's put that in the program and added that all around. So
he, like I said, he laying a foundation, and he's setting it the way he wanted, and he putting them expectations out there. And I like I said, I'm eager, man. I want to see how things shape up, in that Labor Day Classic to start things off. I know y'all trying to get a little revenge there.
Man, we got to get that one back. We got to get that league back.
You gotta get them script writers. They y'all still got them script writers?
Hey, listen, I done forgot about that one.
I didn't.
That was a good one. Listen, I gotta give you that one. I didn't even forget about that. That was a good one. I gotta get. Listen,
man, I keep that one in the tuck, man.
I ain't fooling with the script writers this year, man. They don't know how to write no good movie. They don't know how to write no good movie, man. They lied to me. Y'all lied to me.
They just took a different way to the end of the story. That's all.
Oh man, that story did not end. Yeah, like, bro, that was a horror. That was a horror. You know what I'm saying? I don't like those scary movies. You know what I'm saying? They tricked me. Man.
I had to throw that one out there, man, because I've been sitting on that one for a long time.
Listen, I ain't gonna lie, that was like pitch perfect, because you definitely dropped that one. Because I forgot about that one. So that was a good one to pull out the hat. I ain't gonna lie, that's a good one to pull out the hat.
But like I say, man, I just like the energy that you bring, man, because you stand on what you stand on what you feel, with your team, and I know that get people going a little bit. So I like that, man. Like I like to check out your show every day at the games to see how you feeling about the way the story turned out. But now y'all musicians, so y'all making records and probably be getting Grammys and stuff. So y'all got a different approach this year.
Now listen, you gotta really realize too, right? PV is really like a music school for real, like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we've had like some artists go through PV for real. You know what I'm saying? So even the guy, one of the guys is out now, right? Actually just dropped the song called Prairie View. It's kind of crazy, right? You know what I'm saying? That we were doing the track list and he literally just dropped the song called Prairie View, right? But we've actually had some real artists like come through the school for real. So I mean, I hope they lean all the way into it, right? But I think if any staff is willing to, because Coach Early came on our show, and that's when we was like, man, oh yeah, I got the track list coming out, y'all dropping it. Like, man, who y'all gonna have the features? I heard the features gonna be fire, and it's like to see them, because to me, your community tells you what you need to do. You know what I'm saying? If you just like listen to your community, right? You know what I'm saying? Like your swag talk people, they gonna give you all the information of like what you need to do, like a good show idea or top. You know what I'm saying? The people always.
Oh yeah, they're gonna keep you on your toes.
Like the people really know, like the people who come on, everybody, they the one who really give the good energy and feedback to where it's like, oh, that'll be a fire t-shirt, right? Or that'll be, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like we actually got people who understand social media, who understand listening to your fan base, right? And so I really think we're gonna see a lot of good stuff from just the media side of things, just like the things that they decide to do. Because man, like we got the ability. Like I really hope they drop a song for every game, to be honest. Like I hope it go that deep. That would be dope to me. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big, if they do, I'm gonna definitely be keeping tabs because I want to see what they drop for us so we can mess it up for y'all. But 11-1 is, it ain't so bad, so just keep that
Yeah,
in mind.
we possibly lose the Rice game, 11-1. Yeah, you're right. I'm gonna step
See,
away
that's why.
for a second. I'm gonna be right back though.
Go ahead, man. I'm gonna hold it down for you. We got a couple more things to get into when you get back. But all right, y'all. I'm gonna hold it down for a little while. He had to step out for a minute. But man, I appreciate y'all stopping through. And like I said, we're gonna go over a couple of things, that I know he kind of got y'all going with. And so just to kind of keep y'all, on tabs on what's going on with us. Of course, we got Swag Smoke coming at y'all on Thursday. I think I got one more video to finish out on my team series, and that'd be special teams. And then I'm trying to work on getting some more guests in here. So man, if y'all know anybody y'all think would be a good fit to be on the show as a guest, man, y'all hit me up on my socials, man, so we can get that fresh blood in here and get people going. So like I say, man, I'm actually, man, very eagerly awaiting this season as a whole, because I do think, we say this every year, so I don't really want to I really don't want to say it this year, but I do think that this season has the potential to be a good season. I mean, the last couple of years I said that the season as a whole didn't turn out that way, but there's a lot of fresh blood in the conference, and I think that definitely makes things good. So I think with Prairie View new coach, Alabama A&M got a new coach, even Valley, with a new coach, we're gonna see how things turn out. Um, so we just want to see how things turn out. What Kurt, what'd you say about update? What kind of update you want? But like I say, I think this is one of the few years that we don't really have to worry about losing many coaches, unless they get jobs somewhere else. Ain't nobody working at Piggly Wiggly, man. But it's like I said, I think this should be a good season, man. Like I said, going through these lists of returning players, man, there is some star power coming back, and there's of course a lot of guys coming in who can really make a difference on all these teams. So I think it's gonna be a good season, man. Like I said, and we're gonna continue to make some things happen. You right on that one. I was, they gave like a 2-year deal, I think. So yeah, I mean, it's do or die. The season didn't go anywhere like they thought it would. Especially making a coaching change, and the team was up and down, especially offensively. Um, I think they got a lot to kind of improve on. So it's going, I'm always interested to see what Grambling do. I've been accused of being a Grambling hater. I don't deny it, but I've been accused of it. But I still do want to see them. I want to see them have a good team when they coming in New Orleans. I don't really want to come in there with their head down, but I do think that the pressure is on. They lost some very very key guys. 8 wins is gonna be tough. Eight wins is gonna be tough. I mean, they it's not impossible, with the way the SWAC is, but eight wins I think is gonna be tough. Especially, with with breaking in new guys on both sides of the ball. Um, so I don't know if he can pull it off, then he earned any extension that he get. And so, I think that giving them an opportunity to be successful it's all in his hands now. They kind of set that table, and now they got to sit down and eat at it. But if I had to, I wouldn't forecast that. But man, I don't know nothing about that, man. I don't know about that. Hey, the champs always get the champs always y'all always get y'all pub, man. I'm just trying to give everybody else a little love, man. I'm gonna try to do something special for y'all, man. But I wanna show everybody else a little bit of love here and there, So we gonna ain't nobody gonna forget y'all, man. We know y'all the champs. Y'all not gonna disappear if we don't talk about y'all, man. So it's all good. We know y'all there. We gonna acknowledge. We gonna acknowledge. But like I said, I think the only coach who I would honestly say right now is in a little trouble would be well, maybe two. I guess Coach Hampton and Coach Woody. I guess you could say both of them guys kind of in a little bit of trouble. What's up, Big Soldier, man? What's going on? Checking in the house, man. What's going on? But like I say, I'm looking. It's a couple big games on the schedule this season, man. I'm looking forward to early. Um, Obviously, we talked about it last night. Me X Swag Challenge, definitely, going to be a hopefully a good one. We pull our weight, and make it a game. I know Central going to be ready, so we got that. Of course, like I said, we had a Labor Day Classic. That's a big game this year. Last year, TSU pulled off the surprise, but PV gonna be back and they're gonna be ready. So it should be a very interesting game, especially on the coach angle. I think you got two personalities. I think you're gonna have a really good build up to that game. So I'm the more time go by, man, the more I'm eagerly awaiting the start of the season. And I hate to always do that to myself because when you do that, it makes the season come by fast. We got PV in the house, man. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. I know y'all rock with Lionel Heavy, man. I thank y'all for rocking with me on this show. And he gonna slide back in a few. But like I say, it's PV day today, man. And hey, let's make it happen, man. We got to get in that media day, man. We got to slide in there one time and make our presence felt. We gotta be the ones that come in there and ask the questions. You know what I'm saying? And put everybody on notice what we got going on over here, man. We got some good content. So hey, make sure y'all keep it here. And I will say, man, I got a little bit of Prairie View in my family. My niece graduated from Prairie View, I think in '09. No. She graduated in 11. So I got PV in my blood, man. Not my blood, but I got PV in my family. You know what I'm saying? My little nieces and nephews, they be running around with the PV shirts on. I don't really like that, but you got to start them off young, man. So I'm gonna have to bring that one back when he come back on stage, man. Because I know y'all really be wanting to hear from him, man. Because he be having some of y'all in a twist, man. I ain't gonna lie. He be having some of y'all in a twist. Oh, at number 14. Hey, I take it, man. I will tell you now. I'm with you except for one Saturday of the year. So I'm hey, blue and purple ain't that far apart. So I don't got no problem with supporting, man. Y'all, hey, if anybody wants to send me a shirt, man, I'll wear it. You know what I'm saying? I'll wear it. So y'all y'all let me y'all let me know, and I'll put on for y'all. I got a TSU shirt in the house, so I got cussed out when I went to my mom in the house for Christmas. But it's all love. Oh yeah, man. He definitely, man, is a guy that can put it on, man. Like I say, first off, everybody make sure y'all check out PV versus everybody. They're a really good show, man. They cover PV heavy. They talk a lot of swag stuff, and they have a good time on there. And of course, Lionel do his thing on social media too. So y'all definitely keep it locked in now. And if y'all ain't following me yet, man, y'all go ahead and follow me on Twitter, especially. I still call it Twitter. Swag Talk 76. Y'all make sure y'all check me out over there. Um, I don't do a lot of trash talking, but I get my little picks in here and um other than that, man, we just doing our thing, man, getting ready for this season and trying to put together something good for y'all tomorrow, man. And y'all don't forget, what, in like 3 weeks? we got the 200 episode of Swag Smoke coming at you, man. So we trying to do something big there, man. Oh, he coming, but he coming in blue and gold. I'm sorry, he rock with Valley every time except for when they play Southern. So he been in Baton Rouge way too long. So he don't got a lot of Delta Devil in him no more. But I don't know if he gonna be there, but I'm definitely trying to be there, man. I ain't been to Valley in God knows how long. I'm trying to think the last time I even been. I'm trying to think the last time I even been to Valley, man. It's been a long time. Um, Jesus, it's been a minute since I've been to Valley, so I definitely need to get back up there. Um, and check out the new digs and get our win and come back home. But I always used to love to ask him about man, how Valley gonna do this year. He always, oh man, them boys gonna be on. But he blew and gold that day for sure. He already know what time it is. he kind of sort of do, man. He don't fully do it, but he kind of he slide up there every now and then. I think a couple years ago they went up there for homecoming, so he make that little trek every now and then. But we don't play Valley enough for it to really impact us too much. So I'll be glad to see Valley back on the schedule, man. I used to love taking them trips up there and listening to him tell all them stories about how he used to could have the barbershop and all that kind of stuff. So, when you growing up in one of them kind of families, man, you gotta hear it, man. Cause, my family from Mississippi. I'm the only one really in my family from Louisiana. So, my family from Mississippi, got a lot of Alcorn people in my family. Of course, got a lot of Jackson people in my family. So, it's heavily Mississippi swag. And then it's like me and my cousin who went to Grambling and his sister went to Grambling. Me and my sister went to Southern and my niece went to Prairie View. So it's like we the outliers. So we got to hold it down for everybody. I agree, man. Valley without turf, Valley without grass, man, is like like Kool-Aid without sugar, man. It's like that don't go together, man. I used to love to ask people about playing on that field, man. Like any guy I had on my show that played against Valley in Itabina, I used to love to ask him about that, man. That was the 12th man. So, losing that 12th man, it kind of changed the way the game go. Now you got to get out there and make it happen, on the field. And of course the mosquitoes, man, gonna carry you off. So like I said, I miss the 12th man. I miss it, but I'm glad they making some things happen, man. It was well deserved and it was well deserved and needed. And I think honestly, everybody, I love natural grass, man. I love mud and all that stuff. But I think especially late in the year, it's good to have turf. And hopefully Southern will be getting a new turf here at some point because that turf we got almost 10 years old, so it's about time for it to get updated. Hey, I take that. I take that. I take that role, man. If I can make it happen, because crazy part is, like you say, now we really is that age, man. We not we not young no more, but we continue to do what we do, man, and make it happen. We continue to put on for everybody, put on for the league, put on for my school, put on for my city. So I love it, man. I love it. Shout out to my boy Christopher Dukes in the house, JSU, all my JSU people in the house, man. What's going on with y'all? Um, of course, of course, anybody else repping any other schools that I don't know in here, man. Y'all put in the chat where what school y'all repping. I know the usual suspects, but if anybody in here who not normally in here, man, thank you for tuning in and make sure y'all hit that like button, and then hit that subscribe button as well. So y'all can keep it locked in here with me as we go down. Uh, I sit back and I would have to say just on guys that have been here. I would say Jacoby and Morgan. I mean, it's not a lot of guys returning who have played a lot. I would say Jacoby and Morgan, and I like Cam Runson for Bethune Cookman. I think he had a really strong end to his season. Of course, he didn't have a lot around him, but I thought he was a solid quarterback for what they do. Um, Let me see. I'm gonna see if I can pull up what I had, because they it's not a lot of quarterbacks coming back this season. So as far as guys who actually have a lot of experience, I if you got an experienced quarterback coming back, man, you like 12 miles ahead of the ahead of the curve, because there's so many teams who breaking in new guys. Some guys coming back who were hurt. You got a couple guys who played some. Fam, you got an interesting transfer come in, but it's hard to really project a guy coming in. I think that's a good pickup. But me personally, whenever I look at looking at the preseason guys, I always look at the guys who played in the league or played at that particular school. Just because that's a tangible thing that I know. Of course, I think that's a good pickup for them, and I think that's gonna they need anytime fam you got a solid quarterback, they're gonna be in the mix, and with a guy like that, with that running game they got, I think that's definitely gonna make them a key factor. Um, but just looking at the guys who were already here, um, is not a lot of experience in the league. So the opportunity for a guy to step up and kind of become a top QB in the league, I think is there. I like Kareem Key too, man, for Bama State, but I don't know if I don't know if he's gonna, take that next step, or he gonna, kind of have that sophomore slump, or if Andrew Body is gonna take it, So I think for a guy who was not expected to play at all last season, I thought he held his. I thought he carried himself pretty well. I mean, of course, he had a couple of rough games, but all in all, for a guy who was fifth string and was actually a wide receiver for most of the preseason before he had to come in, I thought he did a good job. Um, so I do think there's some talent at the position. It's just not a lot of not a lot of experience, and that's the $1 million question. If he can stay healthy, then that's gonna really make that quarterback battle interesting. You know what I mean? He didn't have some bad injury luck these last couple of years, and hopefully he can stay on the field. Yeah, and I mean, the guy can make plays. He can hurt you with his legs, and he can hurt you with his arm, and he got a hell of an offense around him. So he's definitely like easily the number one guy on the list. Um, and like I said, I would put Ransom at 2, just because I do like his game, and I like KJ Cooper too, man. He got hurt last season. I thought he showed some things before he got hurt. I am interested to see him kind of get back in the form. Um, and so I think he's a guy who could definitely be one of those top guys in the league if he can get those reps. And I think they offense needed that QB. They just they really leaned on the run game so heavy last year, and I think a lot of it was because they didn't necessarily have the guys that they needed at that position. So I like KJ Cooper a lot, man. I know my boy Los J used to tell me about him all the time before the season started, and he had a really good game early in the season before he went down. So I do think he got an opportunity. Of course, I want to see Jalen Woods as Southern continue to develop. He played strong in the last, the couple games that he did start. He had them freshman mistakes. He had a bad interception in almost every game he played, but I thought he did a good job of kind of righting the ship when he came in. And he seemed like he's taking a step in the spring in a leadership position. Kind of got a little bit bigger as well. So, I think that's a guy that's gonna continue to grow. And I'm interested in seeing what Gremlin do. You know what I mean? They brought in Xavier T-Set from Southern, but they also brought in like 2 or 3 other QBs. And they're not really in a rush to name a guy. So, I'm interested in that. I think Alcorn, another interesting position. Alabama A&M, with Quar Brown coming back, but they also got a couple guys, with a new coach. So, some things are kind of open. So I do think most of these jobs, man, are gonna be held by guys that are capable. They're just getting experience. Like when I did my list, you only had 3 quarterbacks who started double-digit games last season. And then you had one who started 9 games. Everybody else started 6 games. Everybody basically played in 8 games or less after that. So there's a lot of guys who did not really, get the reps that they want. Hey, tell them strap up, man. Tell them Sacramento State people, man, strap up. Yeah, I gotta read that, man. I ain't I'm out the loop on that one, so I gotta catch up on that. Yeah, I mean, me and Coach 67 talked about that play a lot. He said the guy really, really made a questionable play on the ball, but that was just a hell of a play. Um, and the only one I really think was, I wouldn't even say it was bad, but he was trying to make a play against Pine Bluff early. He's trying to make a play, and it didn't go that way. Same thing with the Grounding game, was trying to make a play. It just didn't go that way. But nothing. He never really made any game breaking mistakes. And I thought he played pretty safe. Um, and I think he only going to get better as long as they feel like he the guy, and they're going to put the 100% trust behind him, and let him get it done. So I do think he got an opportunity to get better. I know they still supposedly I can't supposedly, that's a hard word to say, supposedly looking at bringing in another QB. I'm not quite sure about that. Um, definitely got a strong upside, man. Like I say, he's doing a good job of developing his body, and developing leadership, and kind of taking charge of that role. And I think when you do that, in the offseason, when a quarterback take that next step, I think everything else is gonna fall into place. And that to me is the kind of thing I look at for guys, especially in the spring. I look at not necessarily. Of course, you want to see a guy have a good spring season. You want to see him have good practices and develop. But I really like to look at a guy take that leadership step. Take charge of the team. Start to make the team his own, and kind of develop that way. So I think I think the quarterback spot is in good hands with a lot of these guys. A lot of these guys just don't have a lot of experience yet, and it could be other guys that play. So I think that obviously with this position, it's a position everybody know. My mama know the quarterback. You know what I'm saying? So like that's like the one position I think everybody is always so keyed into. Because that's the position that everybody know. Of course, you can't do anything without them guys in front. So if you don't got an O-line, I don't care what kind of quarterback you got, he's gonna always be kind of working off his back foot. So I think it's gonna be a very interesting season, man. They got a nice mix of experience and youth in this league. So if the coaches could put these guys in good positions, and these guys can make some things happen themselves, I think you're going to end up with a good year at quarterback, and this could be a foundation for moving forward in future years of having those guys. Where we had a run of quarterbacks who kind of came up the ladder, year by year. So I do think we can have that. All right, man. We got our boy back in the house, man. I just been kind of holding it down a little bit, man. We've been kind of talking about the state of quarterbacks in the SWAC. But I want to ask you because anytime you post something, people kind of get excited for a better term. I want to. I don't have it in front of me, but I want to talk about your coaches list. That always seem to get people in an uproar.
Listen, the truth offends people. Okay, all right, the truth offends people. It just is what it is, right? You know what I'm saying? So I can't. I don't get up in arms because I speak the truth and people don't like to hear the truth. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's your question about the list though? Because the list is really perfection. There's probably only a couple things, questions, but other than that, it's perfect. You telling me you don't like what Terrence Graves listed on my list?
I didn't say I had a problem with the list. I say people had a problem with the list.
Shake my hand, Sewell. Shake my hand.
Hey, we good, man. We good. I told you, man. I just like I said, because I mean, list a list, man. Like I'm not gonna ever let a list in April get me upset, man. I be at home laughing, man, because I'm like, as soon as I see you post something, I'm like, I know somebody gonna take it the wrong way, but. I know
they need to be worried about that list in November. That's the list they need to be worried about for real. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, like I say, anything. Oh, go ahead.
Come on, man. Come on. Hey, listen, I'm gonna let you have that one. I'm gonna let you have it because I'm a respectful young gentleman. Okay, I respect my elders. Listen, you got one more time because we already told y'all we don't respect big homies. Okay.
I can't really speak on this because I don't have it in front of me, and I don't know if you got any.
I can pull it up real quick. You want me to go through it?
Yeah. Let's run through it. I just want to see where everybody at.
All right. So for those who didn't, watch, the official way too early preseason rankings. We did also talk about the head coaching rankings as well, right? So I'll go ahead and run through that real quick. Let me pull it up, right? I believe I had TC number 1, right? Nobody should have an issue with that, right? I had Tremaine Jackson number 2. Nobody should have an issue with that either. You know what I'm saying? Number 3, I had Terrence Graves, right? Number 4, let me see. Number 4, I had who I have at number 4? I went to the wrong thing. Let me go back. I went to the same thing I just came from. All right, there we go. Number 4, let me see. All right, here we go. All right, number 4, and go to the end. All right, number 4, we had Chris Dishman. That's right. Cedric Thomas, number 5. Sam Shea, 6. Alonzo Hampton, 7. Eddie Robinson Jr., 8. James Cozy, 9. Terrell Buckley, 10. Mickey Joseph, 11. And Raymond Woody, 12. That's perfection. That's perfection.
I don't have an issue, but I got a question. I don't have an issue. I just got a question. Eddie Robinson, number 8.
Listen. All right, listen. Hear me out, right? Hear me out. All right, look. All right, before even, let me ask a question, right? Last year, what was your expectations for Alabama State?
My personal expectations, I thought they were gonna be in the. I thought they were gonna be in the mix. I did not think they were gonna be the Swag East champs like a lot of people did, but I did think they were gonna be top 3. So
okay, you thought they was gonna be top 3, but top 3 and actually having a chance, right? That if a play goes,
I think they could have played their way into it, but I didn't think they were the favorite.
They could have. You think a play could have went their way here or there? They were gonna be in the games against FAM, in the games against Jackson State, though.
Yeah. If things fell the right way.
Why did you think that about them though?
Well, for me, I because their defense. I know their defense was strong, and of course, last season, they got a little boost with Andrew Body coming in, in the preseason. A lot of people.
I know this your show. Let me stop you right there, okay? Because listen, you obviously knew they was gonna have a little boost. But number 8 on the list obviously don't understand that Andrew Bynum is a good boost because his problem was his problem. He created his own problems, right? So listen, if you create your own problems, you can't stay high on my list. You got to slide down. He his own worst enemy. He's starting this other boy on like, what we doing? Why we back and forth? Even in the game against Central, he showed Andrew. But even showed you he really should have been the guy, right? And now the biggest thing, though, this the biggest thing. It's not just 1 year that this didn't happen to him, right? This really done been the thing 3 years in a row for Eddie Robinson. You see what I'm saying? Come on.
Yeah, I agree.
Listen, MVSU, bro, Valley, my guy from Valley. Listen to the man. Listen what he's saying. He was the reason they had a quarterback, a wide receiver playing quarterback. That's on him and him alone. And year after year after year, now 3 years in a row, he done showed you he himself can't make the right decision when it comes to the quarterback room and to the offense. That's period, point blank. So I gotta drop my man down because he is on worst.
Hey, I just like to hear the reasoning, because I know you're gonna always have a reason behind whatever you say. That's why I ask you, because some people they put together a list, you question them and they get defensive. I know you're gonna have a reason for why you do what you do. I'm just a curious person by nature when it comes to lists and stuff, so I always like to ask. But I honestly, man, I don't really have a lot of questions with it, because I think there's a lot of fluidity in the coaching position right now. There's a lot of coaches who in their first and second years anyway. So I think a lot of those positions are up for debate. And there's a couple coaches I'm a little disappointed in, but I think as a whole, it's not a bad. It's not it's nothing really wrong with it. And I agree with with how Bama State is. Every year, they seem like they're gonna be the kind of team to win a division, and they drop a game they're not supposed to. Or they just, they just not right on one side of the ball. And, like you say, at some point you gotta look at the head man in charge. Is it a reason why, your team is the way it is? And I know a couple of things, but I don't know. I think they have it with the direction they're in. I don't know if they really realistically see themselves as a team that should be a front running team,
They took 2 steps up, right? And that's why I respected him last year. You know what I'm saying? Because he moved in the right direction, right? Went from third to fifth. They finished second. People forget they finished second the year before, right? They didn't finish third. Yeah. They finished second because they beat Jackson, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, man, I look at, I don't know why my camera keeps tripping out. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, man, I respected him for that. But he's his own worst enemy at the end of the day. And I can't believe Israel is the one who's saying right now, somebody speaking the truth about E-Rob. Ain't this the same man who just called you lying?
You know how I go. Hey,
you gotta catch people in their track, right? You gotta catch people in their track, because he just called me lying, but now he's saying I'm telling the truth. So now who really telling the truth and who really telling the lie?
Hey, when you talk about somebody else's team, you tell the truth. When you talk about their team, they tell you lie.
I called him right there. I ain't have to wait 5 minutes. I done called him already. How to catch a tiger. How to catch a tiger live on Swat Talk. You know what I'm saying? That's what we do.
Hey, they gotta be quick on their toes, man. They gotta be quick on their toes.
Gotta be quicker than that.
You got to. Again, but I gotta throw this at you though. And shout out to my boy Jamel in the house, man. I gotta throw this at you. You just you just put the main number 8 on your list, but you put them making it a SWAC championship. How that math not mathing?
Hey, listen, no, because see, people don't understand the rankings is based on right here and now, right? It's not necessarily based on future projections. You know what I'm saying? It's not based on like what I think you're gonna do in a year per se, right? You know what I'm saying? It's based on where I'm ranking you right here, right now, in this current moment. You know what I mean? So that's why, right? You know what I mean? But hey, listen, I think he gonna find. Listen, 3 years in a row, I don't think Eddie Robinson is that dumb. I guess that's my thing, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think Eddie Robinson is that unwise, right, to make this mistake 4 years in a row. I can't see it happening. So, this is a guy, I believe, even though he lost his defensive coordinator. That was a big loss. That's a huge loss to UAB, right? You know what I'm saying? And now he really got to show that the defense ain't just based on getting the right DC in, right? But the defense is actually based on him, right? You know what I'm saying? Like he the cornerstone of it. Just like how Coach Jack, right, with his 212. You know what I'm saying? At some point, I know my man Brandon Anderson love Coach Jack. But at some point, man, Brandon Anderson gonna get a call that he gonna go somewhere, man, and listen, this is gonna be the right call for him, right? And then that's gonna be another time where T Jack gonna have to show, like, hey, nah, listen, the 212, that's me. You feel me? So I think E-Rob this year is gonna have that chip on his shoulder because I think a lot of people probably feel like they also gonna take a little step back and regress, on the defensive side of the ball. And I'm excited to see how he shows up, right, and actually makes that team successful on the defensive side. And I think he's gonna actually start to make the right decisions on the offensive side of things. Because can you really mess up 4 years in a row? Like 4 years?
I mean, you mess up 4 years in a row, I think you gotta go. You can't mess up that many times and keep getting slack, because eventually you got to get it right at some point. A broke clock right twice a day. So at some point you got to get it right, and you can't. At some point you can't keep pointing fingers at other places. You got to point fingers at the top. If it don't, if year after year you're coming up short, you got to look at the top spot and go from there. My boy Jamel from TSU said y'all not going undefeated this year, so he already casting his ballot on how y'all season turning out.
Where he from?
TSU.
Ah, man, we don't listen to nobody that'll go to third world community college. we don't listen to bro. Where's he from? Where you from again? Oh man, we don't listen to nobody from third ward. Nah, man, I just rolled through there. You know what I'm saying? I just rolled through third ward earlier today. I looked at TSU. I'm like, I can't believe this is over here. You know what I'm saying? I can't believe they put it this community college right across from U of H. That's crazy. You know what I'm saying?
So you don't think they'll give y'all a go again, man? They snapped the streak last year.
Now, even though Jamel don't know what he's talking about, listen, I really do like Chris Dishman and what he's doing, though. You know what I'm saying? I like what he's building at TSU. I like what he's brought in, right? That grit, right? Really kind of building from the ground up. You see, he really going a complete different way of like what T-Jack doing, right? You know what I'm saying? So he's really building strong through the high school ranks. You know what I'm saying? Really going to develop guys coming up. So listen, I like what he's doing, right? He's saying, hey, this is my program. This is how I'm going to build. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, man, I do like what they're doing. It's going to be interesting to see kind of what their offense looks like and if their offense takes a step forward, right? Because their offense was really stagnant, you know what I'm saying, throughout the year, really. And they really was, really, really, really run heavy, right? And they really didn't have any receiver at all, right? Like the tight end was pretty good, right? But after that, man, you really didn't have nobody that you can name in that receiver room last year at TSU, right? So it's going to be interesting to see if they have a receiver that steps up and really becomes that guy for them this year. But I do like overall kind of the direction they're going in, right? You know what I'm saying? And I picked them to finish second in the West. You know what I'm saying? So I was in my way too early rankings, right? You know what I'm saying? But I really like TSU. You know what I'm saying? Do I like TSU enough to like pick them to do something crazy like beat us 2 years in a row? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But other than that, man, I like them.
Well, I do. I told you this on Twitter, but I do like that you put us in fourth place because we're not gonna finish there, but it's good to put us there to make it look good. But we defend it. We're gonna defend our throne.
Listen, I got too much respect for you to hurt your feelings on your own.
You can't hurt my feelings. You can't hurt my feelings.
Hey, let me leave out the studio and come back in because I don't know why my camera missing.
All right. Well, yeah. Hey, y'all see Lionel say, man, he coming with the smoke for TSU early. I'm trying to get him to put it out there for everybody, man. But like I told Jamel, like I told you on the show, man, I'm looking forward to that game. I think there's gonna be a big game this year, man. I think I don't know who gonna take it, but I think it's gonna be a really interesting game.
I don't know who's gonna take it means that y'all not gonna take it. That's what that means.
I'm a neutral party, so hey, can y'all both lose?
You are not neutral, first of all. Let's see. Now you be neutral on your channel. I ain't gonna lie. You one of the most neutral brothers in all of HBCU space. I can't lie. If there's anybody that is neutral, like you are very, very fair to all squads. I will say that. You know what I'm saying? So. You know, so that's why I can't come on here and hurt your feelings. I'm like, man, let's see. Well, I can't do this on.
I appreciate the respect. I appreciate that.
Oh, not on Swag Talk Live. You know what I'm saying? Maybe. Listen, maybe if we was talking about that smoke, then.
Oh yeah, hey, the smoke is different.
Come on the smoke, though. You listen, all y'all.
Oh yeah, that's different. That's totally different.
That's totally different, right? This is a different segment. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta respect the owners of the house. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, they got three versions of me. They got the Swag Talk version of me. They got the Swag Smoke version of me. And then they got the whatever version is at the Southern lost a game. That live show after the game is a different breed. It's a different breed, man. So
hey,
I don't want
It hurt your feelings having to come on the show after the game after you come off a
loss. Do whatever, man.
That's why I do my show on Sunday. All right, I got a day to get myself together. Okay, I ain't doing no show at nighttime. I'm doing my show on Sunday. Okay.
I really don't like it. You know, everybody kind of wrote me into it. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I need time to decompress. I ain't gonna lie to you. I need like 8 hours to decompress. I gotta sit back and, if I can, I gotta sit back and watch the game again, just to, it's bad they TSU by 50. Oh y'all getting out of control now.
TSU by 50. Hey, listen, man, that hurt. Ain't nothing hurt my feelings more than doggone Kendrick Grimes, you know what I'm saying, I'm like, hey, listen, what that remind me of? It wasn't the same exact play, right? You know what I'm saying? But I'm a Saints fan, right? That Marshawn Lynch play, that's what that reminded me of. I'm just
that play is burnt in everybody's head.
Y'all don't. Hey, but listen, the Saints, they listen, they good for one-upping themselves. Because listen, that Minnesota Miracle, bro, let me tell you.
Oh, I know.
And I know we on a whole different conversation now, right? Listen,
hey, that's how we do over here, man. We do.
So crazy. Listen, I had a roommate right here. He was a Texas fan at the time. We stand together, and so we was watching the game. And man, we scored. I'm like, bro, I'm going crazy, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like, listen, listen, it's another year. We're about to get it done. It's the second one. All right, you feel me? Moving them on up the rankings. We about to catch the 49ers in a few years. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm talking crazy. Bro, that play was so bad. This is how you know the play was bad. My homeboy ain't even talking to me at all. Like, he ain't talking no noise. There's nothing. It's just like, listen, bro, I saw the complete devastation in your eyes. I couldn't even say that right now because I'm like, this boy is destroyed. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, listen, I was hurt. Okay, you talking about hurt? I'm like, what is these boys doing? You know what I'm saying? What is these boys doing? One time, man, what are you doing, my guy? You don't talk to the sideline? Come on, man. What are y'all doing?
Everybody had the same reaction, man. Why? You just grab him.
Oh my god, bro. I'm hurt right now even thinking about this. Right? That one hurt me more than even the pass interference call because I'm like, with the pass interference call, even though it was a horrible call, I'm like, we still technically have time to score. You see what I'm saying? Like,
you still was in the game.
In that game, right? This play is like, dang, it's rough, man.
That slammed the door. I like I say, man, I was watching that game. I was sitting in my living room, man.
With the TV.
I'm sitting there like, I can't believe it, man. Like, plays like that always, it always make you look at things different when you see a play like that. I follow a team, man. We live by them. We live by them kind of plays. I don't know how we keep doing it, but we live by them kind of play. That punt against Texas Southern, I still don't know how that happened. I don't know how that happened.
I got too many New Orleans playoff hurts for days, right? Even the other season we played against Minnesota when they tied it up, and then we couldn't stop them for nothing in the doggone overtime. Got the ball in overtime, couldn't do nothing, and then the boys went down. Oh my good! I just got too many bad New Orleans. Like it's just
Man,
I can't deal with my Saints sometimes. They just like
I was a Saints fan for one day, man, in my whole life. I, unfortunately, I'm a Cowboy fan, but I grew up, back when wasn't that many teams on TV. So all I could see was Danny White and Tony Dorsett and all them on Monday Night Football. So that was my team. Saints was horrible when I was growing up, and they made the playoffs. I won't say it was '87. They made the playoffs and they played the Vikings first round, and they lost 44-10. I was like, man, I'd never follow this team ever again. I watched Flipper Anderson catch like 386 yards against them with the Rams. Growing up in Louisiana and Baton Rouge, you get Saints on TV, but it's like, man, I just couldn't. I couldn't do it, man. Even the year they won the Super Bowl, I was living in Florida. I was glad because I couldn't deal with all them people, man. But I was happy for them, but I couldn't deal with it, man.
It was pandemonium listen, that year we won the Super Bowl. So that's the year I graduated from college too, right? So like everything just felt like it was in place. Even when we lost our first game that year, because we went 13-0 before we lost the first game that year, right? I wasn't even stressed. That was like literally the night of my graduation. I'm like, listen, I'm so good. This loss wouldn't even hurt me no much. But I remember that Super Bowl because I watched the first half on campus with like other people. It was like a Super Bowl party, bro. But you know how you at a game and you got people who like they really just there for the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah,
bro, I can't watch this game with you. I'm really invested in this game, bro. Soon as halftime hit, I jumped in my car and sped 25 minutes up to Cypress to my apartment so I could watch the rest of the second half by myself. I walk in and they scrambling everywhere. I'm like, what the heck happened? What the heck happened? That's when they kicked the onside kick, right? So I literally walked in. When they already scrambled, like we got the ball. I'm like, what the heck happened? I'm like, that man kicked the onside kick. I mean, but we got it though, so I'm cool. We good, okay. So, but man, I just remember that because I sped back home so I can be by myself and watch the game with a true Saints fan for me, okay. Because I couldn't be watching the game. Y'all up here talking about stuff, eating Doritos. Nobody care about the commercial. We down right now.
Hey,
talking about.
That's why I don't watch I don't like anybody at my house when I'm watching football because I don't need the outside stuff and I get invested. So I don't need anybody looking at me funny because I'm yelling at the TV or whatever. Like my nephew brought his girlfriend in the house for the first time a couple years ago and we were watching the game on TV and me and him yelling at the TV and she like, they can't hear y'all. I'm like, I know this, but still, it's like, hey, this is how I deal with it. I got to get it out.
Asked you first of all who
exactly hey you enjoy whatever you're doing, man. Let me
they hear me. They definitely heard me. You see
because they make the adjustments when I tell them to, and if they don't, then they lose. They didn't listen to me.
listen, I'm a bad friend. See, I ain't gonna lie, I'm a bad friend. You can't take me to the game. My same homeboy, we went to the Rockets game one time. Rockets fan. I'm gonna pull for whatever other team there because I ain't no Rockets fan. So I'm going for whoever else there, and don't let them be giving y'all the business, okay? Because I'm on you all night, okay? Because I don't care. All right, because I can't listen. The one thing I can't have living in Houston, I can't have the Texans winning no Super Bowl. I can't have the Rockets winning no. Listen, Astros. I can deal with that because I really don't. I don't really watch baseball no more like that. You know what I'm saying? So okay, I can deal with that because like I ain't really into baseball. But I can't have the Texans win the Super Bowl. I got to move from Houston because I ain't gonna be able to deal with them folks. All right, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna be able to deal with them.
Oh, I understand, man. Like I said, I lived in Tampa for like 10 years, so I was surrounded by Bucks, and people thought because I was from Louisiana, I was a Saints fan, and I hate to correct people all the time. They don't understand. They look at me crazy, like you don't like to say like you're not indebted to like somebody because you're from there, They
should look at you crazy though. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Look at that man. He deserves to be looked at crazy. Boy, he ain't even in Baton Rouge. He in Baker too. Somebody said you in Baker. That's even worse. You in Baker and you a Cowboys fan, not a Saints fan. That's crazy.
What? Hey, crazy. I earned it though, man. I'd have took your camera. I'd have took you off the camera for that. I'm only letting that hat stay on there because you're my guest on the show right now, and this is your first time here.
It's about PV. You got listen. Hey, listen.
Exactly. This is a PV show, so I gotta let you represent. This was
back on topic because I don't see Mr. Edwin in here. But listen, When the last? Can you explain to people? Because I know you're a Southern guy. Can you explain to people when the last year we lost in Baton Rouge in Mumford Stadium?
The last year y'all lost to Mumford Stadium was 20. Was what 19?
No, sir. No.
Yeah, 19.
Your math is way
I was
off.
there. No, my math not. We we beat y'all in 2019. Cause y'all had Dewanye Tucker, y'all had Jalen Morton, all them dudes, man. We beat y'all that year. Cause the year before we shut y'all out in Prairie View, 38-0. So in our house, you know,
your math may be
my math is not. My math is correct. Hey, when it comes to wins and losses, my math ain't that far off. Y'all don't win in Baton Rouge that much now. Don't come in and try to get.
We won in Baton Rouge 3 years in a row though. 3 trips in a row.
Yeah, that was back. That was way down.
Whoa. Your math is off. Your math off. Let me hold on. 34-28. 34-28. You know what I'm saying? And listen, Jalen Morton put up 286 passing yards and 133 rushing yards. All right. No, I'm just playing. That was a loss. But I'm just messing with you.
Yeah, I know it. Hold on.
No, y'all I'm just messing with you.
Oh, I know we won that game. I was there. you can't. So, hey, the first.
You took a pause for a second though. You took a pause for a second there. You like,
hey man, I'm getting older, man. Don't throw stuff at me. Don't throw. I had to think. You know what I'm saying? Like the computer, I gotta get the computer to work right. I'm like, I know it was there, but the first Prairie View Southern game I didn't go to, man, was like 2006, and y'all beat us. So I was like, I gotta beat up for the rest of them. But you know, y'all done had a little success in Baton Rouge, you know, but you know, none at home, but you know. No, that was in 17. That when y'all fumbled that ball in the end zone.
We gonna change that this year though. You know what I'm saying? Ever since that homecoming route, we've been real comfortable in Mumford.
Y'all pull a fast one on us with that homecoming win in 21. Y'all pull a fast one on us. Y'all got duly hired in Baton Rouge after that game, man.
Oh man, we got to win and gave y'all head coach like for the next 2 years. We lost a good year.
We lost twice, man.
Y'all lost twice. That's so funny. Man, I still.
But the next time Baton Rouge,
that year, everything just went wrong because the scheduling was off. We played Texas A&M at the end of the year, which don't make no sense. I don't know why in the world.
Oh yeah, that was horrible.
End of the year, horrible scheduling, right? You know what I'm saying? And then we stumbled into the championship game, but we showed up for the championship game. Man, we just couldn't get a quarterback to make a play at the end of the day. But Jackson had just a great defense that year too. So you know what I'm saying. But we was there, man. I keep saying Shedeur Sanders threw for under 100 yards that game. You know what I'm saying? By far his worst college game in his career.
Oh. Yeah, I mean, y'all was right there in the game, man. Like, you know, they had a big kickoff return that kind of turned some things around, but y'all was right there in the game, man.
Because we had just scored, right? You know what I'm saying? You know, and man, that kick return hurts. Yeah, that kick return hurts. Man,
that game hurt me, man. I was sitting there watching, like, man, my coach about to win a championship, and then come to Baton Rouge.
Now then he went back. That's something where I divert from a lot of my PV faithful, because some people feel like, man, hey, he's already in Southern, he already in Baton Rouge, he ain't trying to coach to win the game. I'm just like, why would he want to win the game? It don't even make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna beat her, if you don't want to win, then don't come. Let somebody else coach the game.
And to me, when I look at the floor of the game, right, it's like, nah, man, listen, Juwan Pass just didn't show up. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's the thing. Because he missed 2 big throws over top. We actually had a man beat. He just missed the guy, right? You know what I'm saying? Could have made it a whole different game. So he just was off. That's just the reality.
Yeah, he had a couple passes where he threw the ball before the receiver was even ready for the ball. He was just he was just off.
Obviously, right? So, you know, it's at the end of the day, he just had he had his worst game at PV, right? You know what I'm saying? That was his worst game at PV. Now, again, right, I give props because Jackson had a great defense that year, right? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not just saying it's all on him, but there was a couple plays that's like, hey, listen, the play was there, you just missed the guy, right? You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man.
Yeah, so like I say, I was really rooting for y'all hard, man, and then turn around, go back to Jackson the next year and get beat again. So it just Jackson just wasn't a good spot for that man. But
It's okay.
y'all came to Baton Rouge in 22 and helped us in 23 and helped us fix some things. So it worked out. I appreciate y'all, man. Y'all good people. Y'all look out for us when we need the help. So
listen, well, hey, listen, I'll let is over now. It's over now. Hey, listen, when I play my cousin dominoes and I start singing that song, he knows what. If we playing dominoes or Connect Four and I start singing that song, you know what it is. Okay? It's over now. It's over now. We about to head to Atlanta. You know it's over now.
Hey, I heard Chris Dishman singing about going to Atlanta, man. Everybody can't go. Somebody gonna miss out. He's singing Atlanta too. One of y'all gonna miss it.
I don't know nothing about what Chris Dishman talking about, but listen, I keep saying though, I really like TSU, so I ain't saying this because I don't like TSU. I really do like TSU and what they're building over there, but he ain't going to Atlanta. He got a ways to go. Now, year 3, year 4, Chris Dishman is really that's the Chris Dishman I really want to see where he at, because I feel like he's building his program in that way, in that manner. You know what I'm saying? To where he's building it up to where in that 4th year you're gonna really see a real strong TSU team. That's how I feel, personally. You know what I'm saying? So you believe PV climbing out of the basement? This is the thing that I don't understand about people. PV ain't been in the basement since we got scholarships back. Like, y'all just don't really understand history. That's y'all problem. Okay, you know what I'm saying? We ain't been in the basement for a long time. Our problem is we haven't been able to get over the hump. You know what I'm saying? We've had multiple years over after the turn of the 20th century where we literally we couldn't be Southern this year, or we couldn't be Grambling this year, right? We finished second, right? You know what I'm saying? Because we couldn't get over one of them humps. That's just the reality. But as far as a program, PV's been a great program now for a long time. You know what I'm saying, right? We just needed what we got now to take that spark, right? Like you talked about earlier with Coach Jackson, to get somebody that realized, one, the specialty that's here, and then another thing, man, that people don't realize. We had 3 first-year coaches in a row. So for the last, you talking about, what's that? You talking about like 13 years or whatever it is, right? We've had guys that's they first-time head coaches we've dealt with for 13 years now. This is the first time we've had a guy who's been a head coach before he got here in a long time. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's something I ain't even put that together, but that's a good point.
So you know what I'm saying? So that, and he's coming in like, he's not coming in like, all right, I'm trying to see what kind of program I put together. He already dealt with that when he was at Colorado Mesa. He knows what he wants and what he's building. That's why he can go. That's why he's moving like this. You see what I'm saying? He can move like this because it's like, I know exactly what I'm looking for. I know exactly what I'm trying to do. And it's just like implementation, right? So, I mean, Willie Simmons, we love him, right? But Willie Simmons is built off of the fact that he got his start here. You see what I'm saying? And got his bruises, got his nicks here to figure out how to win. I mean, Dooley didn't do well with left, right? You know what I'm saying? But like, he was a first-time head coach here, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Bubba McDowell, right? He didn't even go through any ranks, right? And that's why, to me, I didn't understand that, because it's not even like a guy who's been a DC before or OC before and had to run a unit or a side of the ball, right? You know what I'm saying? So to me, that was kind of real weird in the first place. But first-time head coach, right? So we've been through 13 years of first-time head coaches. I mean, and we've been solid with first-time head coaches, right? What can we be with a guy who actually is a championship coach? You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, man, we straight.
Hey, like I say, that's man. I don't want to relive that. I shouldn't have put that on. I shouldn't have put that on the screen. I don't want to relive that, man. Y'all don't understand the pain, man. Alcorn is the closest school to us. They like 2 hours away, man. Like is mad all come people living in the city.
I
They
know. Yeah.
they don't show up till they beat you. You know what I'm saying? You don't see them at all till they beat you, but then they don't hesitate to let you know where they from. Yeah, losing a team 2 times in a year for multiple years, man, that hurts. But I'm working through it. I'm getting there. But like I said, I do think the tide is turning, man. I feel like when you get the right person at any program and they start to get that program moving in the right direction and force everybody else to change. And this conference is resistant to change for sometimes. So sometimes you gotta be dragged along. And this might be one of the situations where you either get on or you get gone. So I appreciate anybody that step up and make a challenge for everybody, including my team.
Yeah, because this is the thing, right? I think the same thing that they're talking about as far as now at PV, as far as elevating the room, right? Which I see them doing across the board. I think also T-Jack hire is a hire. And I also think Sam Shade is the same way, right? You know what I'm saying? So respect to his name, right? And his resume. I think those hires are hires that actually elevate the floor of the SWAC as well, right? You know what I'm saying? Because my thing is, I don't want to just beat up on bad teams, right? I want to beat up on good SWAC teams. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? A good team.
I agree.
Because we should be clobbering the Southland. We should be killing the UAC, right? You know what I'm saying? We should be doing numbers. We should have multiple teams ranked in the top 25, right? Anybody that don't get in the championship game should be getting a nod to the at-large bid because we just really got them caliber type of program. So I really wanted to be elevated like that to where every program got a good coach. And the reality is in college, man, it's really about the coach. You see what I'm saying? That's really what it's about. Man, you talking about Nick Saban or, like we used to start thinking about college football, right? The Urban Meyers, right? And what he's done, right? You know what I'm saying? Like it's always about the coach. That's what it's been about for years, right? You know what I'm saying? So the same thing in the SWAC, right? You know what I'm saying? We think about the old Eddie Robinsons, right? The Pete Richardson, we talk about the Common G's. It's always been about the coach. We got to get the right coaches in the right places so all the programs are uplifted, right? And then PV will beat all the good programs, you know what I'm saying? And still win a SWAC championship in the Celebration Bowl. But at least,
when you win a championship,
right? Y'all will beat Nichols, and then we'll beat y'all. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Like that's I want y'all to beat Nichols by 50, and then we beat y'all by 50. That's what I'm looking at.
I want to be Nichols by. I don't care if it's a half a point, man. I do not like losing them dudes, man. Nichols, McNeese. There's no reason why we shouldn't be beating those guys.
Listen,
if you're gonna be on my schedule, I need to beat you.
Listen, UIW. Oh, I hate them so much. Okay, UIW is probably like that's y'all Nichols for us. Bro, I don't care what sport it is. I don't care. Listen, I can't stand them. I cannot stand them. It's like, bruh, can we just get over the hump and beat these people in something? You know what I'm saying? So.
And I totally agree about when you playing in a conference with good teams, it changes perception of everything you do. When you play in a conference with teams that's not that good and you win the division, people look at it like, well, nobody was in the division. Oh, of course you won. You want a challenge, man. You want to feel like you proving yourself every week. You got to step up to the plate every week. You don't want to have a season where you got to stay locked in because you playing teams that, not up to par. You want to be locked in because if you playing a team that's going to beat you by 30. You shouldn't have to go into your season looking at these games like, man, we need to, we just got to stay focused on this game. Like you got to come to play and know that your talent and coaching going to get you through these games because you're playing teams who bringing the same thing. And that's what makes everybody better,
Exactly. No, for sure. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited, man. I really am excited for what we got going on, in general. And yeah, man. And I think what he's doing is going to continue to build a fan base and get the fans excited. And like I keep saying, man, PV has over 80,000 graduated alums, right? So second to the Southern University system, right, which is multiple campuses. You know what I'm saying? We got one campus, right? And we talking about over 80,000 alumni. You know what I mean? So it's a big, you know what I'm saying, alumni base. And listen, if we get rolling, man, the alumni base get locked in. And listen, one thing that PV will do, that's show up for a party, right? That's why we showed up in Jackson a few years ago for the championship game. You know what I'm saying? We showed up heavy for that. So if we get to Atlanta, oh man, it's gonna be fun. I mean, when we host a SWAC championship game at home, it's gonna be fun.
Hey, y'all. Last year, I said we was hosting. We didn't make it this year. We hosting. So I mean, y'all can come. I can save y'all some seats. Because I didn't get that home game like I asked for this past season. I'm getting it this year. Sorry.
Oh man, hey, listen, this is so funny. I just seen this comment that Coach T-Jack made to see, this is the energy we need, man. It's so hilarious. One of the coaches from Sacramento State saying he's in H-Town. You know what I'm saying? He said he's popping out tomorrow. He looking for some dogs. And Coach Jermaine Jackson responded back, call first before you come.
But I heard somebody say that they've been going back and forth. I gotta trace that trail, man, because I didn't know that. I didn't know them people were talking greasy like that.
Hilarious. Oh my goodness. That is so fun. That man said you gotta check in first. Wow.
Hey, you got to set the ground rules, man. You can't let people
bro.
You can't let people get comfortable, man.
So you saying how I feel about TJ, bro? This show you how I feel, right? Because first of all, let's be clear, right? You see how I've been talking. You see how I talk, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna talk my talk. Whether I win or lose, I'm still gonna talk my talk, right? You beat me, I'm gonna shake your hand, right? You know what I'm saying? You feel me? So,
oh yeah,
that's how I am, right? So I got a coach now who talking like that too, who talking like this. Come on, listen. First of all, put Sacramento State on my schedule too, because we'll fly out to Sacramento too. First of all, let's be clear. We're the closest HBCUs to the West Coast. Anyway, we've been talking about going back to Los Angeles too. We'll fly to Sacramento.
Oh, yeah. And who are they to be talking to anybody?
Who are they? They got a lot of NIL money too. They'll probably pay us a bag to come.
Oh yeah, they'll make a way. They'll make a way. They obviously want some heat because they talking. So hey, tell them talk their way right on the schedule, man. Hey.
No, I'm about to add to this smoke. Don't worry. You know what I
But like I said, man, we're gonna go ahead and start to wrap this thing up. But I gotta ask you one more thing before we get out of here, man.
Yes, sir.
Well, a couple of things, but first off, I need one of them. Are you making them 2025 SWAC championship shirts? I think you said you're gonna make some hoodies.
Not just shirts, we're making hoodies.
All right, I need one in blue and gold if you don't mind.
I need one in blue and gold. That's hilarious. They don't come in that color, right? We don't have that kind. But you can take yours, right? And you can dye it whatever color you want to.
Oh, right? I will, because last year I meant to give me a shirt in here, right? West Champs on it in the marker, but I forgot. But I got home from the game.
See Wells, first of all, my guy, you're good, right? You know what I'm saying? You're good with me, right? You know what I'm saying? Because I like the banter, you know what I'm saying? And you got some great comebacks, my guy. So I definitely got to give you props for that. But listen, I got a shirt for you, all right? You know what I'm saying? And make sure you hang it up when we're done with y'all next year. That's all I'm trying to say.
Oh, hey, if it happens, it'll go right up there, man. I stand by whatever. I'm not gonna duck nothing. We're gonna talk a little noise. I'm gonna take my medicine if that happens. So I don't run away from nothing. So hey, you got something for me after the game. I might not be happy about it, but I go with it.
Oh man, we're gonna see, man. But yeah, man, if you pop out, you've been to PV before, huh?
Oh yeah. It's been a couple years since I've been out there, but yeah, I've been out there. Yeah. Coach Jackson told me I need to come out there when we play out there next year, because I was talking to Greasy, so he said you better be out there when we play out next year. I said I'm gonna try to make a way. But man, Lionel, I appreciate you coming through, man. And like I say, we're gonna have to do this again sometime, man. For the people who don't know, can you tell them where to find you?
Oh man, y'all can find me over on PV versus everybody on YouTube, PV_ versus _ everybody on Instagram and on Twitter or X, right? And listen, we just having fun, man. We talking that talk, right? But listen, on my show and on my channel, PV is not the side dish. We the main conversation. All right, you know what I'm saying? The everybody's is the side dish on PV versus everybody, but PV is the main thing. You know what I'm saying? So you know what you're gonna get. But I think you're gonna enjoy yourself if you come over, man. And you want to talk that talk. So we got some more segments and stuff we working on, and we trying to get going right, especially going into the summer, into the fall season. So definitely, man, check us out. And I would love for you to show some support and subscribe to the channel, man. We got to go trying to hit 800 subscribers. We a couple away. So, man, if y'all want to show some love, I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, y'all make sure y'all definitely go over there, man. They, like I said, they do good things, and they keep it 100, good, bad, indifferent. They're not gonna sugarcoat nothing, and if something ain't right, they're gonna speak on it. But when it's good, they're gonna speak on it. And I love it, man. Like I said, I like to catch y'all Sunday shows out of games because y'all do good breakdowns. Y'all be having Coach Heiss on up, so I always like to check everything out. And for everybody else, man, I thank y'all for tuning in. And of course, tomorrow we'll be back with Swag Smoke, so we'll see what's going on with that. And I'm still working on getting a couple people to come through and do this with a couple other schools, man. So y'all don't want to duck nothing. Come on over. We have a little fun. Oh yeah, hey, you make sure, Johnny, you keep coming through, man. We're gonna get that Central talk, man. Atlanta's second home for us, man. It's been a minute since we've been there, but we about to do. So
Atlanta, land of the purple and gold.
He's singing, but I don't sing, but I got something for y'all coming later. So y'all just, y'all gonna know where I stand with making it back to Atlanta. I used to live there, so of course it'd be good to go back home. So hey, let's go, man.
Listen, it's nothing to go, man. You need nothing to go home and watch us, man. Watch us play.
On that note, I'm gonna get up out of here, man. Lionel, man, I thank you, man. Like I say, I love to see what you're doing, man. The work that you put on, and man, you keep on doing what you're doing, and we're gonna stay locked in with you.
Hey, man, I appreciate you, man. Y'all go run up my Sacramento State tweet. You know what I'm saying? So PV can get on that Sacramento State schedule. I'll holler at y'all.
I'm going straight down now. I got to get in on this before it disappears. So, like I said, man, we're gonna catch y'all tomorrow. And man, y'all have a good rest of y'all evening, and we'll see y'all tomorrow.